Welcome to the She Builds Show. I'm your host, Stefanie Olson, a licensed general contractor who builds new construction, renovates, and designs your vision. Today, more than ever, we need raw, authentic women who are willing to rise above society's norms, break those glass ceilings, and encourage each other to boldly build the life we were meant to live. So, honey, what are you building? Welcome back to the She Builds Show. Today, I want to talk to you about 90-day sprints. It's the end of the first quarter already. Can you believe that? It really doesn't feel possible to have this much time go by already, but man, it's here. It's proven that goals in both your personal and professional life need to be laid out in 90-day sprints. 6 months and 1 year is just too long to stay focused, and 90 days is just the right amount of time to be able to hold your attention. So our team and I just spent an entire day planning out the next 90 days. Why? We already set our annual goals and we went to work. But the problem is when you have yearly goals, you tend to forget. Things changed and it's hard to stay focused on something for an entire year. So we locked ourselves in a room with our EOS implementer. Now, an EOS implementer is an entrepreneurial operating system implementer, which is our team's coach. And he helps us implement traction and all the components that make up traction. Now, if you're a small business and you haven't read the book Traction, I highly recommend it because EOS comes out of traction and they actually have implementers to help you implement traction. So 90-day goals are set so that you can actually accomplish something meaningful in that time period and also allow enough time to get there. So I want to ask you if you've done this. Now, I believe in putting good vibes out into the world and having the right mindset, but I also believe that what gets written down and tracked gets done. So setting 90-day goals comes from our 3-year plan broken down into our 1-year plan, and then our 1-year plan broken down into 90-day sprints. And each person on our team is responsible for what Traction calls rocks. Rocks are measurable and attainable goals that you have 90 days to complete. Now, our key here is that as a team, we set out the rocks for the quarter, for the company, and then each rock is assigned to a team member. I want to get this concept in your head about a rock, okay? So the example in Traction is, let's say you have a glass jar and you fill it with rocks, maybe boulders, like rock size that you could fit in the palm of your hand. And then around that rocks, you put in smaller pebbles and you think, okay, gosh, it's full. And then around those smaller pebbles, you put in sand and there's still more room to fill it because it fills in all of the crevices. And then around that sand, you can actually fill in water. And so the difference is that we're not focusing on the water and the sand and the pebbles because those are the details of how to accomplish the bigger things, the rocks. Now, if we put all of the sand and pebbles and water in that glass jar before we put the rocks in, the rocks don't fit. So the rocks have to go in first. We have to know where we're headed. We have to know what we're doing. And then we fill it in with all of the details. So that's the mindset around what a rock is. So each team member is responsible for reporting on their rock each week at what we call our level 10 meeting, which is from Traction. And our level 10 meeting is actually a 90-minute meeting. Now, when you have 6-month and 12-month goals set, it's so easy to procrastinate. But with 90 days set on the clock, the time is ticking away and you have to get accomplished to that. And when you have to report on it weekly, it really puts fire under the direction that you want to go. So even if it's just you in your business, I highly recommend that you do this. Block off 3 hours and get out of your normal place of work. Head to a coffee shop or somewhere new and fresh without distractions of your paperwork. And I want you to sit down and I want you to ask yourself these questions. What went right over the last 90 days? What went wrong? What is not working? What do I need to do differently? What should my focus be on for the next 90 days? What do I need to delegate to be able to fully focus on my 90-day goal? What is my energy level? What is my home life like? Am I spending enough time there? Now, once you answer these questions, I want you to compare this reflection to your yearly goals and see if you're still on track with those yearly goals that you set, or if something needs to change. Are they still in line with your purpose, your path, your passion? Now, once you've completed that, I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to write down every issue you see in your business. Do you have people problems? Do you have software problems? Do you have transportation problems? Whatever you see as an issue, I want you to brain dump it on paper and get it out of your head. You need an issues list. Write down all the problems that you don't have an answer to. Now, once you've done that, I want you to take your 1-year goals that are written on a piece of paper, and I want you to put your issues that you've just written down, and I want you to set them side by side. I want you to see what's getting in the way of you making it to your 1-year goals. You have all the issues that are blocking you from those goals. Do you see that? Now, with those 2 lists in front of you, this is how you make your rocks for the quarter. This is how you set your goals. You combine the issues that you need to solve with the goals you have set. So, for example, one of our issues is that our subs don't fully utilize the software program we use. We keep it updated with the schedule and daily logs, and yet we still have to text almost all of them because they aren't checking the software. So that's one of our issues. One of our goals for the year was to have all subs fully implemented and using our software. Because as we grow, we can't be texting every single sub every day. It's not going to be a process that's sustainable. Something's going to fall through the cracks. So we need a more streamlined process. So the rock that we set was to pay our subs through the online software. It has this capability, and yet we haven't been using it. And the most important thing to most people when they finish a job is to get paid right away. So we are really good at this, but the process is cumbersome and requires a lot of hands-on labor. We've got to get the invoice, we've got to cut the check, we've got to mail it, stamp it, or connect with them to get paid. So, that's kind of an archaic way of paying somebody. So if we can get subs to use the software to submit their invoices, then we can pay them right away online directly into their bank account, which is what they want. And we get them in the software, checking the app and using it, which is what we want. So we solved the issue by setting the rock of paying subs through the software and assigning it to a team member and setting a 90-day time limit on it. That makes sense? Combine your issues with your goals and solve them to keep you moving forward towards your plan. After you set your rocks, each team member should have 3 to 7 rocks per person, and you need to meet weekly on the progress of those rocks. Now, how we do this is I just simply go through the rocks and I ask the question, are you on track or off track? If they say on track, no more discussion. If they say off track, then I ask the question, is there an issue we need to solve? If there's an issue, it goes on the issue list, and the last 60 minutes of our meeting is dedicated to solving the top 3 issues. Beautiful, streamlined. And it's also so easy not to do. It's so easy to just get busy and bury our heads and not look up until Christmas. Don't do this. I believe success is accomplished through the daily consistent habits we implement over time. So now is your time. It's the end of the quarter, and it's time for you to set your goals for quarter 2. If you decide to take my advice and you get stuck, or if you just want to share your goals with me for accountability, I would love, love, love to hear them and to check in with you at the end of June. So send them to me or message me on Instagram. And girl, if you don't have a business, and more importantly, if you do, you need to set quarter 2 goals for your personal life. You can take those questions that I went through earlier and you can ask yourself those questions with your personal life. What went right over the last 90 days? What went wrong? What is not working? What do I need to do differently? What should I focus on? What do I need to delegate? What is my energy life? How am I feeling? Those can all be applied to your personal life as well. Every quarter, I take about an hour and a half and I review my yearly goals for my personal life. I check off what I've accomplished. I set new goals for the quarter, and then I break them down into my monthly and daily goals. I know you guys know this, but just in case you forgot, I follow Pamela Crim's Big Life Goal Setting System. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram. It's called Big Life. And she provides this downloadable journal that you can fill in. And it's simple, it's clean, and it's user-friendly. And I actually also implement that into my business. Our team just meets once a month on our personal goals outside of work, because it's important to me that the people I surround myself feel supported and they want to grow, and there's accountability for them around that growth. So, girl, you got another 90 days in front of you. What are you going to do with them? Thanks for joining me today on the She Builds Show. My name is Stefanie Olson. My hope is that this episode leaves you feeling empowered and ready to boldly take that step into building the life that you envision, 1 2x4 at a time. And if you can do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. I get giddy over reading the reviews each week, and I will choose one special person to win some She Builds swag. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out if you're the winner. Thanks again for hanging out. Be sure to visit me at theshebuildshow.com, where you can ask me questions and share with me what you're building.